My name is Eliza, and I'm going to be guiding a slow flow Align with the Devine yoga class. So go ahead and roll out your mat. Get into a comfortable seated position. You might want to sit up on a pillow or a bolster or a block, something to lift your hips just a bit higher than your knees. It makes it easier for you to sit up straight and for your spine to lengthen. Once you've come into that seat, you can go ahead and close your eyes and place your hands palms down on top of your thighs. Take a few clarifying breaths here. So about 3 big breaths where you inhale deeply, fully. And when you exhale, you can open your mouth. You might let out a sigh, a yawn. Allow the breath to clear your energy. Again, a deep breath in. One more like this. Inhale. And exhale. Allow your mind to be soft, gentle, and open. The theme of this class is about recognizing that we are part of something much bigger than just our small self, than just what the self can spiral into its thoughts and emotions. And that's fine. And to also pull ourselves out and have a bigger, broader, more expansive viewpoint on what's going on in the world right now. It's clear that we're in this big transition, this epic turning from one chapter into the next. And when we have a bigger, broader, more expansive view of the big picture that's going on out there, it can make it easier to move through the waves of emotions and experiences that we're having. Because we know that within these ups and downs and emotional situations and, just these situations that we go through, that's part of the human experience, this is normal, that we're also connected to something much bigger. So here, let's sit in meditation for a few minutes. I'd like you to envision roots growing out of your sit bones, your legs, your feet, the places where your body touches the earth, the floor beneath you. Just imagine that there's really strong roots growing down, 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 connecting you to the core of this planet. The roots are creating strength and stability, structure, and purpose. You are meant to be here on this planet at this time. Let your roots grow strong to connect you to the core of this planet. And once you've got that rooted connection, allow your inhale to gently lengthen and expand your spine up towards the sky, opening the crown of your head towards something bigger than we can even imagine, opening to consciousness where all things are possible. Take another breath here. Inhale, lengthen the spine, open your crown, expand. And when you exhale, draw this energy down through your spine, root it into the core of the earth. Good. Move with this visualization. Breathe with this visualization. The inhale lengthens, lifts up, opens and expands to consciousness. And the exhale roots, draws the energy down and connects you here and now. Continue with this visualization and see if you can lengthen your inhale. So if you can get just an extra split second in there as you inhale, and do the same as you exhale. Exhale a bit more deeply, slowly, fully. We're going to begin our movement by first laying on our backs. So go ahead and remove your pillows or blocks from underneath you and make your way onto your back. You can extend your legs out in front of you and have your palms open towards the heavens. Open to the cosmos, the stars, the sky. And soften the space between your third eye. Well, no. Soften the space of your third eye. Between the third eye, going even deeper here. Relax your forehead. And maybe even lift the corners of your lips just slightly, putting a little smile on your face. If you want to wiggle your body here, just little movements, little undulations back and forth to kind of make yourself feel here, right? We can really get into our heads quite easily, but just a little bit of movement, especially when our body is pressed against the floor, the earth is pressing back against us, just to remind ourselves of this stability and the structure of this planet beneath us. So you might wiggle your feet back and forth, shake it up through your hips, maybe move your shoulders, your chest, your back, your head. A little shake here. Can let out a noise. Hi. Good. Remembering we are part of something bigger. I sometimes like to even have the visualization of the whole earth. It's like I'm out in outer space looking down at the globe. And I'm like, oh, I'm just a little speck of this grand turning, this big global transformation that we're going through. That helps me to let go of all the little things day to day. Good. Go ahead and take your right knee into your chest, wrap your arms around it, and give a nice tight squeeze, a hug here. And as you hug your right knee into your chest, root your left thigh bone to the floor. It has a tendency to want to pop up here, but pretend that there's a sandbag on top of your left hip and press it back. Take the femur head, the top of your thigh bone, back towards the earth. And here, your right ankle, you can go ahead and roll the ankle. Go in one direction and then switch directions. And then release your knee. Move your foot in circles so that the knee, your right knee, is actually the thing that's getting these circles. So we're circling the knee joint here. You can go in both directions a couple times each way. And then as though there's a crayon on your kneecap, draw circles with that crayon on the ceiling or the sky so that your hip joint gets the circular movement. Again, one direction a handful of times, and then switch directions. Good. Right hand to the outside of your right foot, knees bent in half happy baby. This is another one where we keep our left thigh bone rooted down towards the earth. You might try to pop up as though there's a sandbag or someone pressing on top of your thigh. Press it down. Then pull your right foot back in. It's almost like a lunge position, but on your back. Release your foot. Take your left hand across to your right knee. Bring this knee across your body into a twist. Your right arm can reach out to the side. Your head can look towards the sky, or maybe you bring your gaze out towards your right fingertips. Breathe into the juiciness of this twist. And see if you can relax even further. One more breath here. You can let out a sigh, open your jaw on the exhale. And then slowly make your way onto your back and extend your right leg out in front of you. Take a full breath here and notice the difference in your two sides. Just with that little bit of movement, we've already woken up that right leg quite a bit. Bring your left knee up, hug your knee into your chest. Now pretend that the sandbag is on top of your right thigh. So your right thigh is going to press down towards the floor as you hug your left knee into your chest. Circle your ankle, going in one direction. Nice to get this fluidity into the joints. Change directions. Good, then you can release your knee. Make big circles with your ankle, your foot, so that your knee gets some movement here. You might get a little crack. I just got one. Go the other direction. And then the crayon is on the tip of your kneecap. Draw circles on the ceiling so that your hip joint gets these nice big openings here. So important to keep fluidity in our joints. If there's no other exercise that we do for a day, just opening the joints, getting movement is really good. Good. Change directions. We need to keep them fluid, and they tend to get dried out. So getting some motion keeps them nice and juicy. Good. Bend your left knee. Take hold of the outside of your foot with your left hand. Half happy baby. Again, root your right thigh bone down to the floor. As though I were there to come over and press down on the top of your thigh so that it presses back down to the earth. Ah, feels so good. Take your right hand across to your left knee and bring yourself over into the twist. Gaze either towards the ceiling or out over your left hand. And again, see if you can relax even more deeply here. Okay, another deep breath here. And then roll yourself over to the right side. So you're already halfway there. Roll yourself over. Use your hands to press yourself up into a seat. Take the soles of your feet together, your knees wide in butterfly. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, you can bring yourself forward a bit. You can do that with every breath. So if you start to round your spine, come out of it. But instead, inhale and lengthen. And then when you exhale, come forward. There'll be a little bit of a natural rounding, and that's fine. But only go so far as you can keep some integrity in the lengthening of your spine. All right, come on up. Cross your legs, hands on your thighs. Inhale, bring your torso forward. Exhale, round your back body behind you. So we start to get some fluid, organic movement into the spine. Moving a little more quickly than we just were. Still nice and slow though. Long, deep breaths here. Staying in one direction. And then switch directions. So inhale. Still bring yourself forward. Exhale, round your back body. Behind you, good. Inhale and you come forward. Exhale, round. Again, remembering that big picture turning that we're a part of. I do like to envision the whole world. It's like I see the earth, and it just gives me this bigger perspective around, we're all playing our part in this storyline of planet Earth. And what part do we want to play? How do we want to contribute? Inhale, bring your chest forward, and exhale, round. So just straight forward and straight back, flexing and extending the spine. Come back to seated and do some circles with your neck. I like to start with half circles, just ear to the shoulder, the chin goes through the chest, then over to the other side. Good, let's come back to center. Place your right hand on the floor. Reach your left arm up and over, and then this right hand that's on the floor, press it down, keep it there, press it down and away from you. So it's going to give more length in your left side body. Reach your left fingertips over your head. then when you come back up, go ahead, do some circles with your left shoulder, so like you're doing a backstroke here. And then bring it on forward. Then do some movements with the elbow. Elbow doesn't do too many circles, really. It's not so much the direction here, but just some flexion, extension. And then the wrist. You can roll the wrist. Could even give it a little traction. We could hold it with our opposite hand, give it some space. The joints like space. Good, then shake out your left arm, shake out the wrist, and place it onto the floor. Again, press this left hand into the floor and away from you. Lift your right arm up and over, stretch it overhead. Come on up. Bring that right arm back behind you. Backstroke circles here. And then bring it forward. Warming up all these joints in our body. Good. You can flex and extend your elbow, move it around, and then do the same with the wrist, some circles. Maybe you give it a little space. Ooh, mine just adjusted. That was effective. This is the direction. The wrist joint actually goes like that. That's the direction for it to get space. So that was a healthy adjustment. Good, then interlace your fingers together. Reach them up to the sky. Take a big breath here. Bring your arms down. And we're going to meet in downward facing dog. So have your hands a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. Tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Work your heels towards the mat. They might not touch, that's no problem, but work them in that direction and then bend one knee and then the next. Walk out your down dog. Good, you can keep walking it. If it feels good to just hold this position, pause here. Let's actually all pause here. So I want you to feel your connection through the points of contact with the floor beneath you. So your hands, your fingertips, finger pads, press your fingertips and finger pads into the floor. Your toes, maybe your heels, but these are the places where we're finding that grounded stability with the earth. We're connected. It's where our roots grow down. Good. Another big breath here. Inhale. And when you exhale, you can walk your feet to the front of your mat. Take them parallel and hip distance apart. So if you put your fists between your hands, you could get 2 fists between your hands. That's about hip distance. Then inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise up your spine, reach up, expand. And exhale, bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart. We're going to take 3 breaths here where we reach up and expand and have that image of planet Earth, of looking down on the planet, like we're out in the cosmos and we're looking at this greater turning of events that we're all miraculously a part of. So inhale, prayers, because we get to write the storyline. We get to write the story. Exhale, come into your heart. Inhale, reach up, expand. See that big global picture. Exhale, pull it down. Plant it into your heart. And again, inhale, gratitude for being present now. It's an important time. Exhale, hands to prayer, and then fold forward. Step your feet back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to a plank. Hold yourself here. Draw your belly button to the back of your spine. Find your stability, your structure, your strength. One more big breath here, and when you exhale, lower down. You can place your knees down or not. Go ahead, let's meet on the floor. Keep your hands by your side, untuck your toes. Bring your gaze up into a cobra and take a child's pose. Knees wide, hands out in front of you, third eye to the earth. Surrender. Release. And pray. As you inhale, expand the back of your heart. So it's the space between your shoulder blades, those points that feel really good to get massaged. Use your breath to breathe into that space, expanding the back of your heart. One more big breath here. It's a good way to give yourself a massage. And let's press back, downward facing dog. Lift your right foot up behind you, bend your knee, and then stack your hips. So you're going to get a nice opening in the front of your right hip. Keep strength in your arms here. Especially that left side, it might tend to collapse. Press down into your hand to lengthen your left side body, and then open it up from that place. You might roll your ankle here. Good, finding some strength. Then square your hips, step your right foot forward between your hands, left knee to the floor. Come up with your hands to your hips. Nice 90-degree angle here with hip, knee, ankle. And then from there, simply reach your arms up, lift your spine, maybe look back a little to get a small back bend in here. And definitely a stretch in the front of your left hip. Okay, place your hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Inhale, high push-up. Exhale to the floor. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, second side, left foot lifted up. Bend your knee. Keep the integrity in your right side as you open your hips. So press down through your right hand, your right arm. Keep lengthen that right side body as you open up to that side. Good, nice strong arms here. We've got this. Persevere, you've got it. All right, step that foot forward, right knee to the floor. Come up with your hands to your hips. Create that beautiful 90-degree angle here with that front leg. And then simply expand. Reach your arms up, lengthen the spine, look up, look back. Good, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Inhale, high push-up. Exhale, lower down, cobra or up dog of your choice, and downward facing dog. Walk your feet to the front of the mat, have them parallel and hip distance apart. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold, stay folded here, hold your elbows. You can place a bend in your knees if you want to take some of the stretch off your hamstrings, off the backs of your legs, so that you get more length in your spine. When the legs are very straight, we're getting more of a stretch in our legs. Our spine might not bow forward and be as free, but just a little bend can let the spine just feel a little bit yummier. So go ahead, you can sway back and forth. Nod your head yes and no. Let your head be heavy to give space in your neck and your occiput, that place where the neck attaches to your head. A lot of stuff can get caught there, that space between our
connection between our body and our mind, right? So let's try to connect those places, connect that circuit. Good, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. And inhale, press down through your feet to rise up, arms overhead, and hands to prayer. Take your feet wide on the front of your mat. I'm turning sideways, but just the front of your mat is fine. Come into a squat. If your heels are lifted, take your feet a little bit wider or fold up a blanket or a pillow to put underneath your heels. It's nice if we're floating like this to just put some support underneath us. Hands to prayer. Spine lengthens. Place your right hand to the floor. Left arm spins up and open. Either stay here if you'd like to bind. You can wrap your arms around and hold your fingertips. Wherever you are, go ahead, unwind. Come back to center, hands to prayer, and then switch sides. If you want to do a bind, you're welcome to do that here. And let's unwind, hands to prayer, fingertips now to the floor, stand up in a forward fold. Have your feet parallel to the front of your mat, so toes pointed towards the front of your mat. Interlace your fingers behind your sacrum and bring your hands overhead. Slide your shoulder blades away from your neck. So the shoulder blades move towards your sacrum, away from your neck, but your hands move towards the crown of your head. All right, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Inhale, high push-up. Hold yourself here, 3 full breaths, building our core strength. And on the bottom of your 3rd breath, you can lower down. Take your hands into cactus arms, so shoulder and elbow and wrist. They're all in 90-degree angle. Then use your left fingertips, come up into spider hands on your left hand, and press yourself over towards the right so that you get a nice stretch in the front of your right shoulder. This left foot is going to lift up. It might tap the floor behind you. I love this one for opening the front of the shoulder, the chest. These muscles tend to get quite tight. We tend to do a lot of activities that close and shorten these muscles. Anything that we do that's in front of us, like on the computer, on the phone, driving, even sitting at the dinner table, we're kind of shortening these muscles. So it's really nice to remember to do some stretches to open the chest. And let's take the second side, roll on out, left palm to the floor, right fingertips press you over. This one, you can keep your head on the floor if that's comfortable. You don't need to have your neck up. Head down is nice. See if you can even relax into this posture a little bit as it's a significant stretch to the front of your shoulder. Okay, very nice. Roll on out. Interlace your fingers behind your sacrum. Keep your feet on the floor, your legs together like a cobra tail. Inhale, reach back. Lift the chest forward, cobra. Take a couple breaths here.
Nice strength along the whole back body. All right, release your hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Take your back foot parallel to the back of your mat. Come up into a warrior two stance. This front knee is stacked on top of your ankle. Lift your arms up. I like to start this posture not looking over my fingers, but looking straight ahead because we want to keep our torso straight. A lot of times people, when they look, they do this. But we actually want to keep the torso straight, arms up, shoulder blades down, relax the shoulders a bit, and then you could look over your fingers. Left hand down your back leg, reverse the warrior. And then bring it into side angle. Right elbow on top of the knee, left arm reaches overhead, other direction. Beautiful work. Come on up into warrior two. Straighten your front leg. That feels good after holding that lunge position. Inhale, lengthen your spine through the crown of your head. Exhale, reach your fingers forward and then turn it open into a triangle pose. Keeping a little baby bend in the front knee is good, so we don't hyperflex the knee, the hamstrings here. We keep just a really small bend. If you look at my leg, it's going to still look straight, but it's not hyperflexed like that. Little bend. Good. Your gaze can be in front of you towards the horizon, or if it's comfortable for your neck, you can look up. I tend to like to look straight ahead because it takes that turn out of the neck. Not necessary. Good. From here, bend your front leg. Place your right knee on the floor. Downward facing dog. And we'll do the second side. I'm just going to switch directions on my mat, but you can now bring your left foot forward, right foot parallel to the back of your mat, arms come up, and stack your front knee over your ankle. Again, remember, turn the torso straight in front of you. Not out towards your front knee, but straight in front of you. And then keeping that, you can bring your gaze to your front fingers. Back hand down your leg. Reach your front arm up and over. Reverse warrior. And come back into a side angle. Keeping that strength in your legs. We still have that lunge position, that warrior two leg formation here. And then you can come on up, straighten your leg. Again, keep a micro bend in that front knee. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, reach your arm forward and turn yourself open into a triangle pose. Head can look towards the horizon or up towards the fingertips. Noticing this side actually feels quite different on my neck. It's a lot easier for me to turn open on this side. Good. Bend your front knee and step back into a downward facing dog. Good. Inhale to a high push-up. Hold yourself here. I love doing these little planks within the yoga.
It's good to build some core strength. It's how we stay stable and strong during all these times of transitions where the winds are blowing us in different directions. The mind can be active, but if we find that strength and stability in our body and our connection to the planet, it can really help us navigate times of change. And stories like that can distract you from how long you're in plank. Good, we'll lower down, either knees to the floor first or just all the way down. And then bring your heart to your chest forward, up dog or cobra. Good, take a child's pose, knees wide, forehead to the floor, surrender. One more breath here. Okay. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward. Place your left knee down. Walk your left hand off the side of your mat pretty far out. And then spin your right arm open to the sky. Stay here. Or if it's an option to hold your back foot, you may do that. If your foot is floating and you can't quite reach it, just leave it down, reach your arm up for the full expression of that posture. Okay, wherever you are, come on out. Place your hands to the inside of your right foot. Bring that right knee out to the side. You can stay up on your hands if you want to come down onto your elbows. If you have a block and you want to do elbows on a block, that's an option for lizard. Lizard pose, pretty strong stretch in that right hip. And come on out, place that foot on the floor, hands to either side of your right leg, and then straighten your leg, bow forward, draw your right toes back towards you. Nice hamstring stretch here. Okay, bend the knee. Take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee into a twist. You can either keep a low lunge here or tuck your back toes under and just simply lift your back knee and bring it into a high lunge. It's fine to keep the knee down though, because then you have your balance as you twist open. But if you want to do a high lunge, that is an option as well. And wherever you are, unwind, place your back knee down, lift your arms up. If you have the stability, you can, again, tuck your back toes under. I like to keep my hands on my hips while I make this transition. Press them down so your back knee lifts, and just like that, you're now in a high lunge. Good. Hands to the floor. Downward facing dog. Inhale. High push up. 3 full breaths here. Long, slow, deep breaths. Lower down. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward. Right knee to the floor. Walk your right hand off the side of your mat. Spin your left arm open. Again, the option to hold your back foot
if that's available, or just spin open. Either way, it's a nice twist and a heart opener. If you're holding the foot, you're getting a pretty strong thigh stretch in there too. Okay, from this place, hands to the inside of your left foot, left knee out to the side. Stay on your hands or onto your forearms or on a block. Lizard. Come on back up, place your foot on the floor, hands to either side of your front foot, and then bow out over your front leg, straighten that front leg, bow, draw your left toes back towards you. And from here, bend your front knee. Take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee into a twist. Again, the option is to tuck your back toes under and lift up, or keep that back knee on the floor. And wherever you are, come on down, lift your arms up. If you want to take it into a high lunge, again, I like tucking the toes, and I like having my hands on my hips because it's just stable as I simply just push the toes down to lift the knee up. I'm now in high lunge and can open my arms. Beautiful. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. And then come onto your knees. Then onto your bum. Take your legs wide. This is a really good posture to sit up on some blankets or something to give your hips a lift. If you're going like this a lot, that means to sit up on something and to roll. Everyone can do this actually. You roll your glutes out from under you and your thigh goes in. It's like an internal rotation. So that actually helps to bring the toes more straight up to the sky. So not turned like this, but straight up. Hands can be behind your back here. If you're comfortable bringing your hands forward, you can do that and bow. And come on up. Take your fingers under your knees to help yourself get out of that posture. And we'll do pigeon or figure four. So for figure four, you'll go onto your back and you cross your right ankle across your left knee. Reach your right arm through the window of your legs, left arm behind, and pull back. So it's going to be a stretch on the outside of your right hip. So that's good, especially if you have some knee issues going on. Pigeon, which I'll show next, can be a little bit trickier on the knees. There's more technicalities to this one. So if you're feeling unsure, I would say just do figure four for now. But pigeon, we bring our foot forward like this. And then we bow forward. If you're in pigeon, work your right hip behind and your left hip forward so that you get your two hips in one line. And then wherever you are, relax into this posture a bit more. Nice, yummy hip openers. Also, this can be a nice one if your head is floating, but you want to relax it down, to have a block or a pillow or something so that your head can rest. You could even stack your hands like this, fists on top of each other, to give a little prop for underneath your head. That can feel really nice. All right, wherever you are, we will take the second side. So figure four, just switch your legs. Pigeon, swing your left leg in front, right foot back behind you. Same setup, second side. Bow forward. All right. Beautiful work today. Just one more relaxing posture while we're reclining, and then we move into Shavasana. So go ahead, go onto your back. Place the soles of your feet together, your knees apart. Hands can be by your side. I like the palms up. It's a receptive posture. Or if you'd like, you could place one palm down on the belly, one on the heart. That can be a nice, nourishing position as well. And take a moment again to see the whole globe, the whole earth, as though you're out in outer space and you're just looking down at this planet right now, seeing how we are just playing a part of this great turning, this grand story that's unfolding. And that we actually get to be part of the outcome. We get to be part of the journey. We are active co-creations in what is going on right now. We can choose certain destinies. We can choose certain ways of being in the world. There's a big picture happening. It's a way to help us feel less attached to all the little details and emotions and pieces of information and all this stuff that busies our mind and makes us feel certain ways. That there's actually something so much bigger. It can help us to just relax into that knowing. From here, you can either choose to stay in this position. I also like to do legs up the wall. So if you have an easy space nearby to transition into legs up the wall, that's an option. And we're also going to move into Shavasana. So now's your opportunity. If there's another posture you feel you'd like to do, you can do that, the reclined butterfly or legs up the wall, and then otherwise just go ahead and straighten your legs out in front of you. Whatever you choose to do, choose full surrender, full relaxation, a place where you're able to receive the benefits of this practice, the energy movement throughout your body, the clarity and peacefulness of your mind. Choose stillness. I will guide us up and out of Shavasana in a few minutes, so you can take advantage and fully let go and relax here in Shavasana. You can bring some gentle movement into your fingers and toes, wiggling them, gently waking them up. You can roll your wrists, your ankles. Perhaps give a stretch to your body. And then roll over onto your right side. You can use your bottom arm as a pillow. Rest here in fetal position. Take your time. There's no rush. And then press your hands into the floor. Come up into a seated position, keeping your eyes closed as much as possible while you make this transition upright. Place your hands face down on your thighs. And take a moment to take inventory, to check in with how your body, your mind, your emotions, how you're feeling in this moment. Bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart center and take this moment again to remember that we are part of this great turning. That there's a big picture going on. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you so much for consciously choosing your actions and words throughout your days. Thank you so much for your positive contribution to this magnificent time that we're in. I'll see you again. Namaste.